Hello there guys, and welcome to our IBA Week 3 battle against DWilly, coach of your Brisbane Scythers. Apparently, we now pronounce Brisbane. You Yanks crack me up, you're hysterical. Now this week we built a very different sort of team. The first 2 weeks there was no hazards, focusing on a Volcarona win con. And then this week we decided to build with hazards and a Volcarona win con. So we decided to bring Jolt this week. I wanted both double hazards, and I thought the guard chomp was probably going to be his best lead. And then I have red card counter, specifically for a guard chomp lead, because I thought it'd be pretty hot. And then DWilly's like, I'm only going to bring guard chomp as my physical attacker. And I was just there like, oh, you make me angry. It's also got Rock Blast on it. It's called Jolt, so let's hope there's nothing wrong with my my Jolt this week. Next up we have Quiver Dance, HP Rock, Flamethrower, Roost, Volcarona. The reason it was HP Rock was specifically for tornadoes, like if it was AV. And he does have other things on his team that get affected by HP Rock. It's mainly the Typhlosion, because Typhlosion can run Flash Fire. I believe he decided to do that. It's like, put that Typhlosion on the bench, when my fastest one is my Flygon. Next up we have Padonison. Sorry, Volcarona is also named Fog. Next up we have Padonison, coach of the better Brisbane team, the Mastodon Gastrodonts. And he is a very cool set this week. He is Taunt Toxic, Ground EMZ, Avalanche. No stab on Padonison. He's going to prove that he can fight different styles. Then we have Scarf Flygon with Mega. I know that everyone says that Flygon is so bad in RU, specifically because it's got a Scarf set. And I just, Bird, he likes bad sets. Next up we have Daniki. Now Daniki was the secondary win, was the second win con this game. As I really just said to people, it's a Quiver Dance win con and a DD, a DD win con. Mega Tyro with Body Slam, Earthquake absolutely destroys DWilly's team. And I'm very bulky on the Spadef side, so I was like, but yes. And then we have Outrage, Dragon Claw, Extreme Speed, Earthquake. Last minute I was like, nah, don't need Fire Punch on this set. He's not bringing a Whimsy Cotty. And I was like, angry. Now, you're seeing this video and thinking, well, Bird, how'd you do this? You don't know how to use technology. And I'm there like, Daniki, curse you for telling people. A massive shout out to Danny, who's helping me out with learning end cards and trying to make entertaining content. I don't know what that is, though. Still struggling to make that work. Also, thank you to 6foot Hacks again for recording my game. As I said, I pay all my people that record my games. And then, big fan, Omnichannel, or something other weeb word that those weeaboos use for Aaron 24211, apparently now. He is also in the IBA. He's also helping me edit out my videos, and he's a good boy. And also to Odds for the layout, and always as well Benjamin Standish for the amazing team logo. Now let's get into it. So I decided to leave Crossville because, as I said, I just want to drop something for fun. It'll be funny. Think of it. Think of the laughing we could do together. So we are challenged by DWilly. Now, if anyone doesn't know, J. Ricky is my favourite rapper, but this week we're playing DWilly on the beat. And Crossville, got some good advice for you. Do not touch Willy. And you're gonna see that I decided turn 1 Rock Blast is my best play. He's going to go for the obvious Taunt, because Taunt is how you beat setup, according to a lot of players. I was like, oh, I click Rock Blast this turn, and good advice, do not touch Willy. And I was like, ugh! I'm so angry. I was like, this is such an obvious, Moonblast or, Energy Ball, and I'm going to go hard into my Volcarona dancing. And I was like, surely, DWilly's like, I do not want to let my Whimsicotty get, flamethrowered. And then I was like, oh, I probably would just click Taunt again. Let's go back into my Crucial. Into my Jolt, because Jolt with the 5 hits on the Rock Blast can drop this Whimsicotty. And we say the Taunt again, and I'm just like, hee hee hee. I'm, having a cheeky giggle. Bit of a giggle. DWilly goes for the Leech Seed. I'm like, that's not funny, but I'm going to get a free Rock Blast now. And 1, 2... Alright, now, Aaron, cut this to what the last time Jolt had 2 hits and show the viewers at home how well it went.
And let's go ahead and see what happens. I hit 1 Bullet Seed, 2 Bullet Seed, and that's it. Okay, so he has 16% left. Given his investment on his Reuniclus, the rolls extend from about Upper is like 15.7% or something like that to about 19% from Adamant Mach Punch. He's at 16%. So essentially, I just need to not get a minimum roll on this Ridiculous to win the game. And he goes for Trigger, like he should. And I go for Mach Punch, and he lives on 1%. And that, unfortunately, is all she wrote.
I know, but why are you talking about cuts that are going to be made and we can't see? I don't know, just feel like it, really. And I'm just there like, this is not good. It does go out into the Garchomp, making the nice read as I go back out into my Volcarona dancing. And I'm like, oh, yes. I'm like, this Stone Edge is going to be so obvious, but Rock Slide means I have to go back into my Crossle and sack it. And for whatever reason, my Volcarona dodges another rock move and sends in a Sacrificial Lamb being Jolt, and my red card will activate, and I do not get a counter something. It's just so hard sometimes. You just spend all week preparing for something, and like this one janky, really like unfortunate scenario, you just ain't gonna pull it off. And it goes to go into the Jolteon of all things. And I'm just like, I can't bring out my Gyarados on this. Like, it's just heartbreaking. It goes to the Thunderbolt and drops it, and I'm like, Crustle, that's not by God. You're being silly, Jolt. You cost me too many changes. And as Reverse Life Form, I'm like, why aren't you? The better set being the Flame Wall Quick Feet, because now I can just freely go into my Flygon here as I go for this U-turn, because why wouldn't I click U-turn on this Whimsicott? And I did have Iron Tail, and Master was like, Iron Tail would be funny if you click it, but I was like, nah, safe play. Come back to me, Omega, my son. Come back. You know, that's what the UPA is saying. I'm going to Pardonies, and you can tell by the HP stat that this is a max HP Gyarados. But what DWilly on the beat doesn't know is that Avalanche is going to get clicked this turn, and Pardonison is going to get his first kill of the season. Pardonison, stop it. I think it's maybe its second kill, that I think about it. Nah, it's first.
Is that not good?
It's the first kill. It's won 2 games. It tried once, and I was sad boy. Only real men will click the like react down below. Now he goes into the Jolteon, and I'm like, this is the most obvious HP ice here because he extracts the Flygon. So I'm just going to go into my banded Dragonite, just pick it off with Extreme Speed. I am adamant, and I put myself in such a bad position here because if this Magearna set is like anything half decent, I've lost this game. Because, now, when I say it's half decent, I mean it's set up variants. I was really worried about Trick Room, but I knew that the way that I was thinking about it, and I just want to sort of explain that Extreme Speed play a little bit more in depth. The way that I sort of thought about me clicking Extreme Speed was this. If I kill the Jolteon and it's a setup variant, it has to forgo one of the moves. T-Bolt, Ice Beam is like perfect coverage. And then if it foregoes Flash Cannon, it can't drop my Mega Altaria, so we can click Earthquake on it, even at +1, after the Dragonite chip and just do a massive amount to it with Altaria. Unless it's like Carmine, like at like +6, which Carmine Magearna doesn't seem to be as obvious anymore. Like, I know it used to be really big when Maddie first used it, and like Protect and T-Spikes and other nonsense. And so I really see that Dragonite removing the Jolteon is so much more important for this game because it now means that it doesn't have an electric resist. And it doesn't seem like much because my team doesn't really care, but it's more so important for Gyarados because Gyarados can now really start functioning as that sort of mon that I want to. Now, the Garchomp here is fine. I'm going to click the Extreme Speed again and just chip this Garchomp. See how much of the damage that Garchomp took? It meant if that it tried to SD, if it tried to go for Sword Stance, and he makes what I think is his best middle ground play being that Rock Slide. But I now get to bring in my Gyarados and intimidate it. And he's in a really bad spot. His team is Edu's team. There's no ground resist. Edu, please teach me how to play Pokemon. So I'm like, this is going to be ground EMZ time with Pidonison, and I think that the most logical switch in is going to be the Magearna, because if this is like Lychee Berry, Natural Gift Grass, like that is a dead Gastrodon on Switch In, and I thought that the Lychee Berry was a lot more obvious of a play than the Groundium Z with Gyarados. And look at Pedoni's! He's coming! That's so good. I know DWilly said that like Tech Rage is like one of his favourite moves to see, but Pedonison uses Tech Rage. Now this next turn, I'm going to get a Toxic off on this Gastrodon. I was debating on taunting it, but I thought that Toxic was more important because my Volcarona could not beat a Gastrodon unless it was Toxic. And I thought that if it goes to recover this turn, at least it's poison so I can taunt it the next turn, and it really has to then start relying upon Scald. And then DWilly makes an interesting play by not clicking the Scald button. He clicks Toxic, and I'm like really perplexed at this point because it's obviously recover on this Gastrodon. It is probably Scald, but Toxic whittles down my Gyarados, but not successfully enough. So now the play that I expect is going to be a recover. I'm going to taunt with my Gyarados, and then next turn I can freely Earthquake again. I am max attack adamant Gyarados. Pedonison is making this Gastrodon feel uncomfortable. Good job, Pedonison. Pedonison does whatever Pedonison does. Spins a web? No, he can't. It's Pedonison. Goes into Rosie. Now, this Rosie is the Magearna, and look at how much damage my Gyarados does. Like, this is meant to be the best Mon in format. Like, this is the thing that we ban from everything because it's, like, broken. And I'm like, that's about 33%. And I don't have this, like, cringy little damage calc bar because I don't want to ruin the quality of my video, except I start commentating over it instead, and that's what's ruined it. So just click Earthquake again, because I'm like, it's going to do a lot, and I'll get really close to dropping this Magearna, where it's like 22%, click Dazzling Gleam, and I'm like, oh, that's good, decided not to set up yet again. And I'm like, oh, please live on one. Gyarados killing Magearna, be ultimate clickbait. Oh, best Mon in format, Pedonison. Where'd you go, Pedonison? If anyone finds my Pedonison, please report him to the Flying Bird. So we go into Daniki here. And Daniki's like won this game because I don't want to click a Dragonette. I just want to click Body Slam and remove this silly Magearna. Because Magearna is not a good enough fairy type to beat a Mega Altaria. Look at this. No! Daniki from above. Broken. That's a dead Magearna. And Mega Altaria... Wait, it doesn't have Moxie? What? Why would I ever use this Pokemon? Oh, it's got Filter then, surely. And this turn, I'm just like, I can live any Sludge Wave here because I'm like so Spadef that I think this is Scarf Nihilegu. So I'm not going to try to set up and be fancy. I'm going to go for Earthquake because it then breaks its Sash. And on top of that, I can then just go out into my Scarf Flygon and win. And now this is where I think this next turn, DWilly chokes. I think DWilly's play is to go into the Gastrodon and start trying to storm me a little bit. Because he needs this Garchomp alive, because it's not... And I'm like, okay, if this is Scarf, he loses here, because the scenario is I just go into my Flygon, double Dragon Claw, drops it. And my Volcarona just needs to start quivering, and it wins. Now I just go into a Mega. The Flygon! A Mega, look at you! Oh, so pretty. Big fan, big fan, big fan. Do it for OP Cholison. Take it out. Oh, big fan, Omega, big fan. I love you, Omega. You're so good. Omega just takes out that Garchomp with that Scarf Dragon Claw, and I'm like, okay, now this is where it's going to get like a really tricky end game. And when I say get tricky, all I mean is I'm just going to click Dragon Claw twice, because I do expect to recover this turn, and I just want to start racking up the toxic damage. And there's no point me trying to like preserve differential here, because like the win is the most important thing with my team. I lost 1-0 week 1, so I can afford to forgo a little bit of that differential. And then there's a like little cause in the back of my head going, you're gonna miss like playoff by one. So goes for another Dragon Claw. Now I do know that it's Scald, Recover, and it reveals the Ice Beam. And that like pretty much reveals to me that this is the game, because he doesn't have a rock move to touch my Volcarona with. And that's why as well, my Flygon didn't beat Gastrodon 1v1 with Scald, but Volcarona beat the Gastrodon 1v1. And it's a matter of time essentially before this Gastrodon coach, or the Mastodon Pedonisms, goes down. And I just want to Quiver Dance this turn because I want to get a little bit of Spadef up. And in the game, I wasn't really paying attention, so I was really scared of Rock Slide. And I just want to Quiver Dance up because I don't have any move to touch this Gastrodon, and I know that Flamethrower is going to be my out. it's going to be the way that I win this game is by flamethrowing a Gastrodon. And like the way that this like Gyarados is like, I want you guys to like drop in the comments below who is your MVP of this game. I think it was Gyarados. Like Gyarados did so much work. It put so much offensive pressure on DWilly's team that it was really just a matter of time before this game ended. And DWilly tries to stall it out, and I don't really understand why. He is at a higher number of toxic turns than on myself, and the damage with leftovers means that, you know, it's going to like stall out the battle, and I'm going to be sitting here going, I don't have filler content to talk over this battle for like the next 2 minutes. But it was a really interesting game because this game puts me about 2nd overall, 3rd overall in the current standings. I'm 2nd in my division, and I effectively have the worst drafted team in the IBA because I did my team based around various rule sets, but the way that this team has really functioned is, for whatever reason, my first week 3 opponents super underestimate Volcarona. I don't know what they're preparing for, but I know that a lot of my opponents have been saying like, oh, I was so scared of Dragon Dance on your Dragonite, and I just went for Flamethrower here to finish the game off. And DWilly told me after the match that the reason why he sacked Jolteon was because if it was a Dragon Dance Dragonite, he lost. And which I think is a really poor prep on his part, if that's the case. So we do take the Flamethrower, so Volcarona poaches a kill from Podonison. That is not good, Volcarona. You're going to have to sit on the bench next week. But we do play Spanic next week, and if you guys want to enjoy the run, definitely do. I am trying to aim to start getting more comments, so I'm going to put in each of my battles now in the description, who I think the MVP was, and I encourage you guys to do the same. Make sure to follow me on my socials to see when I live stream. We did an impromptu live stream last night, from when I'm recording this, covering the current VGC metagame within Australia, preparing people for the Newcastle event. And if people want to see more of them, I definitely think that the people I was collabing with, James Katsaros and Graham Amity, Paulo Podonison, and also Simon Consti, was 4 very high level players at VGC, especially Cats. Cats gets C-teamed like up the wazoo because people just know he's always a threat. Graham does it extremely well at tournaments, and if you guys want to see more of that content, because I can't maintain a stream, I'm definitely open to do more of those things, but it just needs to be that interaction there to sort of be that incentive to do the next sort of things. And definitely at the end of October, so at the end of my week 6 or week 7 match, there will be a big announcement coming, and I hope you guys will remember to show us your smile, and hopefully next week's game will be live streamed. Currently working out the details there. But until next time, guys, peace.